Dealing with difficult family members can be hard, especially because it can be tough to know where to start when it comes to family and mental health. So today I'm sharing 5 ways to handle family issues which apply to pretty much any situation but are especially helpful for dealing with difficult or toxic family members. So let's talk about family. Hi, I'm Jeremy Godwin and I talk about looking after your mental health with simple advice based on both quality research and personal experience from someone who actually understands what it's like to go through mental health challenges. Your family life can have a direct impact on your mental health and well-being, whether you care to admit it or not. Our family members are usually the people that we're closest to in the world, since we've known them all or most of our lives, depending on your situation. And with that comes pros and cons. Pros in that these are the people that know us the best, and cons in that these are the people that know us the best. And so that means that they can potentially use that knowledge to cause us harm, whether consciously or subconsciously. Now, many people are fortunate to have loving and supportive families, which is wonderful. However, there are also many of us who have really difficult relationships with certain family members, and it can become a real challenge to keep those relationships running smoothly in order to protect your mental health and well-being. Negative family relationships can cause stress. And if you're struggling with your mental health, for example, with depression or anxiety, then sometimes family interactions can really be a major source of distress. Healthy family relationships are ones where there is love, support, kindness, mutual understanding, and most importantly, clear boundaries that are respected. Unhealthy relationships with family will still quite likely involve love, but often that's accompanied by judgment, manipulation, lack of support, cruel behavior, zero or minimal understanding, and either a lack of boundaries or boundaries that just aren't respected. Now, often it's our closest relationships that have the greatest impact on our mental health and well-being. The ones that we have with our parents, our siblings, and even our children for those of you who are parents or guardians. Family relationships play a really important role in supporting us, but they can be extremely challenging when you don't get along. So let's look at some ways to handle difficult family members, starting with focus on what you can control. Because you have absolutely no control over what another person does or doesn't do, or what they say or think. This is what it all boils down to. Managing your family relationships in order to look after your mental health and well-being is 100% about what choices you make. You can ask someone to change, you can explain how what they do or say impacts on you, you can set and reset your boundaries with them 1,000 times over, but you have no control over what they do or do not do. Give people the opportunity to come to the party, but focus your energy on accepting what you can control versus trying to control what you just cannot control. It's when we let go of the delusion that we can control others that we begin to find true peace, true happiness. So do what Madonna said, express yourself, and don't go for second best. Next, choose to practice kindness and understanding, even if that's not what you're getting back in return. When we're interacting with family, often the emotions run really high, and that's where we can get into some big issues, like, for example, talking about sensitive subjects like politics or beliefs. I'm going to say this really bluntly. If you know that you're prone to getting into arguments with certain people in your family, then come at it from a different angle. If you can, push yourself to be kind and understanding. Okay, next, make a choice not to discuss highly personal topics with family, and especially for those that you know are going to argue. Remember when we used to keep our political beliefs to ourselves? I mean, look, I don't think that we should be sticking our head in the sand on political issues, but we also have to accept that political beliefs are intensely personal, and no amount of arguing is ever going to change the way that someone thinks. Arguing serves no useful purpose because you will never reach consensus through heated conflict. If you can't accept someone else as they are, then you have to respect their right to have their own point of view and just ask them not to share it with you. If they don't respect that boundary, focus on something else or walk away. And remember that just because someone believes something that you disagree with, that doesn't necessarily make them a bad person. There's always more to any story than what is going on above the surface. So show some kindness and compassion. I think a lot of the more extreme political beliefs that are out there are happening because people are afraid. Afraid of change, afraid of losing the world that they know, afraid of all the horrible things that we human beings do to one another. That doesn't make them bad people, it just makes them people. And we can't just cancel someone because we don't agree with their opinions. But at the same time, let me be clear, it does not mean that you should sit there and listen to crap. So make choices that are kind, but which prioritize your mental health. And speaking of, my next point is make your mental health and well-being a priority. Because your mental health needs to be the number one priority in your life, because you cannot possibly hope to be there for other people in an effective manner if you're struggling to even put one foot in front of the other mentally. I know it's probably a bit controversial, and I know that for many of you, maybe your family background, even your culture, might focus strongly on the family unit as being the number one priority, which is fine and lovely when your family treats you with kindness and respect, but not so much when they consciously or subconsciously hurt you time and time again. And the other bit is that if you don't look after your mental health, who will? Okay, next, practice acceptance or limit contact, because people are who they are and you cannot change them. In any situation to do with another person, you really only have three choices. Number one, accept things as they are. Number two, state what you need from the relationship and give them a chance to meet you in the middle. Or three, let go. You can give people an opportunity to change, you can set boundaries, but if you keep on offering people chance after chance after chance and nothing changes, then eventually something needs to give, because nothing changes if nothing changes. Now, I'm not saying that you should just immediately walk away from family relationships completely and that doing so will solve everything, because it won't. But I will also say that you get to decide who has access to you, regardless of what their relationship is to you. And even if you do choose to walk away from a relationship, any relationship, you will still have a lot of crap to work through. Believe me, I know from personal experience. But you do always have that option, and it's something that you might feel that you need to do. And if so, then that's your choice, and nobody has the right to judge you for that. Whatever you do, the choice is yours, as it is with all things related to your well-being. So, what choice will you make today? Let me know in the comments below. And I mentioned boundaries a few times in this video, and that's something I cover in detail in this video where I look at setting healthy boundaries with family. Click the link to watch it next. And for more tips on looking after your well-being, subscribe to my channel and check out my weekly podcast, Let's Talk About Mental Health. It's linked in the description below. Thanks so much for joining me today. Take care and talk to you next time.